One question that is often asked is, what does the Buddha actually teach about the self and not self? Or some people might say non-self. This teaching is actually very much a topic. A lot of people have written about this, a lot of people have talked about this, and different interpretations exist. You could even say it's a topic of considerable controversy, as there are many different, several different interpretations, and people can be pretty strong about these interpretations and the differences. It's also a topic that is at the very identity of Buddhism. Many people feel that without the teaching of not self, Buddhism would not be Buddhism. It would become a religion, or it would become a religion similar to any other religion if it wouldn't be for this teaching. This is according to the opinion of many people. Whatever you might think of this, let's talk first about what is the teaching of not self. In Theravada Buddhism, in Thai Buddhism, which is originating from Sri Lanka, the teaching on not self means basically that everything in life, starting with your own mind and your own body, consists of many parts. It consists of many parts, and it's very difficult to find a core in there which doesn't consist of even more parts. You look at, for example, a tree, for example, consists of an upper and a lower part, consists of branches, consists of many parts, and when you look deeper and deeper, finally you come to see that there are molecules, and finally you understand there are all these different parts, and when you go deeper and deeper, there's always an upper and a lower part, and finally you start to ask yourself, where is the tree? What we call the tree. It's actually just a convention. It's just a name which we put on things. Now that's just philosophy when I'm talking about these things. But it becomes very practical once we realize that the very nature of our own life, our own body and mind, are not self. So we will find that our body will gradually, during our life, become older. And because our body becomes older, it gradually deteriorates, we cannot control, we cannot prevent our body from becoming old. This is another aspect that is even more important about the teaching of not self. We do not really control or own things. So we cannot prevent ourselves from becoming old. We can fool ourselves in thinking we can prevent it, but we actually cannot. We cannot prevent ourselves from dying. We cannot, with the best of our wishes, the best of science, prevent ourselves from that. Death is inevitable. Because death is something we cannot avoid. Therefore, life, our body, our mind is not self. This aspect of not being able to control it, not having a core, not having a real self in it, is what we call not self or anatta. From this point onwards, however, there are slightly different interpretations. According to some people, the Buddha only taught this, which means that he considered all things are not self and there is nothing more to that. However, there are some people that believe that the Buddha actually would not make any statements about whether there is something beyond the not self. There are several teachers who stated that and who believe that there is actually something that is beyond the not self. For example, One person was Lupu Sot Chantasaro, or the person what we call Lupu Pragnam. He was a teacher that believed that the Buddha taught not self in order for us to try to understand or try to find the true self. This teaching was pretty controversial in his time, and it is even more controversial in the present time. However, whatever we might think about all these things, the fact is and remains that the Buddha simply taught not self as a strategy, as a method, as a means to let go. So when we learn about teaching of not self, we should understand that it's a way to practice our mind. Instead of just talking about it for hours or making a philosophy of it, which is without any practice in it, doesn't have any practice to it, then you misunderstand the meaning of the word not self, the meaning of the practice of not self, understanding things are not self. However, when we feel in our lives we are growing attached to things, we are finding suffering in life, we are blowing things up, we are making things bigger than they really are, then we should reflect on not self. It helps us to let go, to understand things as they really are. This is the meaning of not self.